Hello, my friends. My name is Claire, and you stumbled upon Porch Coffee, so please stick around. Hi, friends. My name is Claire, and this is my channel, Woodshed Theory. Here, I make content about what it is like to live as an adult on the autism spectrum and whatever else feels good to me. So if that sounds good to you, or if you're feeling particularly gracious today, and I hope that you are, please go ahead and click the subscribe button, ring the bell. I almost forgot to mention that I put out videos a few times a week, so click the like and the share. How's everyone doing? If you're new here, I'm a late diagnosed autistic lady who has coffee with you on Monday mornings. Why? Well, when you're autistic, it's hard to have friends. I know that, you know that. It's hard to make them, it's hard to maintain them. So I come on here on Monday mornings and I have coffee with you. And I tell you about my week. And you tell me about your week in the comments. There you have it. Internet friends. Now I'm going to have to cut out the ominous crow noise. I had a rough time sleeping all week. And last night I finally got a good night's sleep. And I am so grateful. I'm not an autistic person who has like a sleep issue. Not like so many of you that I've heard from. They say that they can't sleep or they struggle to fall asleep. So when I do have sleep issues, it's a big struggle for me. And this week I just couldn't sleep at the right times. I wasn't sleeping well. So hopefully I'm on the other side of it now, because it is not my favorite thing. I like my schedule. Now I don't have like a super set schedule, but I do have like a schedule in that I have a general time that I go to bed. And I needed a certain way to sleep. So when all of that isn't happening, like there was definitely a night this week where I just stared at the ceiling, like could not sleep, was on my phone, like I couldn't sleep. Even with my perfect conditions, I couldn't sleep. Very rare for me, and it was not fun. All of that to say, if you have sleep issues, I really feel for you, because I could not live like that. I just had a moment where I was thinking, I'm so happy to be here having porch coffee with you guys. It really has become a big part of my life, which is a little bit, I know you guys will understand when I say it's a little bit dumb, right? Because it's like, when you take a step back and look at what I'm doing, I'm just holding a camera on a porch, drinking coffee, and then talking to the camera. It's really stupid. But it is an accommodation that I've given myself. A reasonable accommodation, I think, to be able to have build friendships with people. And I really like that. It allows me to be introspective and communicate better, and I'm happy about that. So thanks everybody. I love reading the comments. I love filming porch coffee. Thanks for having coffee with me, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I totally forgot last week, and I'm forgetting now, to mention Mug Club. If you, or someone you know, or anyone you know, a relative, camping mug, sticker, imposter mug, you can go over to woodshedtheory.com. Rush out now in a buying frenzy. You don't have to rush. But if you do want to get one, no pressure. If you do want to get one, woodshedtheory.com. And join the Mug Club. Just remember, Mug Club is in our hearts. Thought that I remembered that somebody joined this week, that there was a mug sold, and I cannot find that email anywhere. So if you did get a mug this week, please don't think that I'm ignoring you. I was looking through my emails and I couldn't find it. My week was good. How was your week? I think I was having some issues with executive dysfunction this week. And with the sleep issues, I was definitely having issues with that. So it was kind of a strange week. It just didn't feel right. It felt like something was off the whole week. Like it wasn't like clicking. But we got through it, didn't we? Here we are. And hopefully things get better. I'm sure they will. I was able to interview Irene from the Thought Spot this week for my podcast, Autistic People Talking, which was super duper fun. I really appreciated our conversation. I think, and I say this on the podcast, which maybe isn't very cool, but I think Irene is really cool. And she has these like deep conversations on her channel. Well researched. What would I call them? Like, they're well researched, also opinion pieces, but what well researched. Sometimes they're not opinion pieces, sometimes they're just more research. But I really appreciate what she has to say for the autistic community. I really appreciate her, and to be able to talk to her was really insightful and fun. And I felt like I kind of came out of my shell a bit and was more open to talking about things I don't really talk about on the channel. Like, I really haven't talked about support needs and things like that. So, yeah, I'm really glad that I had her on the podcast, and people really seem to be enjoying that episode. So if you haven't checked it out yet, I encourage you to do so. Available on YouTube podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Music. Ta-da! I'm feeling just in a good mood this morning, which feels good. I think because I finally got a full night's sleep. It'll do wonders. Other than that, this week, I've been crocheting a lot. I kind of have myself in a little bit of a conundrum because I've been crocheting that dragonfly shawl, and I've never crocheted with anything that thin before. I'm happy to be doing it. It's very drapey and beautiful, but and I definitely plan on selling it in the next drop. However, maybe not, because it's taking so long. I haven't been able to work on anything else. So I don't have like a drop together. Maybe by the end of April I will. But I think I'm learning a lesson that I can't just count on things like that. They're just too, I'm one person, and it's too time consuming. And I have this desire to finish the project, so I don't just like lose the project. But yeah, I've never crocheted with anything so small. It's like crocheting with a string, right? Like, it's taking forever. I'm about halfway done. Almost. I'm almost at the halfway point, so hopefully I'll get that finished this week. But it does take a lot of time. But here's the thing. I was telling my spouse about. I love having the crochet part of my business, and maybe not everyone understands it, but you got to diversify when you don't, you're only making ad revenue. And it makes me really happy, and it's part of my special interest anyway. I love having a project that I'm working on to sell, ready to work on, because a lot of times I don't feel like I could do a video, or I don't feel like I could do anything. But usually I feel like I could crochet on something. So when I don't know what to do, when nothing else feels right, I can crochet something. And it feels good to do that because I know that I can put it on my Etsy shop. So I feel like I'm still working even when I don't know what to work on. The big topic I wanted to talk about this week that I've been thinking a lot about, and I've been thinking the past few days, like I want to talk about this on Porch Coffee, but I don't know what I'll put as the title because I don't want it to be clickbait, because that's something that I'm working on. I guess the topic is processing my diagnosis, like how I'm processing my diagnosis. Well, maybe we'll process it together about what to call this, but I've noticed, if you were to ask me how I process my diagnosis, obviously I would say I'm still processing. And most of the time I'd say like I'm doing much better with it. Much better in the sense that it's not like at the beginning where I was crying all the time or laughing, like just these waves of emotions. Like it's a lot. It's like, when the dam breaks. Now, like, the dam is still broken. It's just, has to rain for this is too much. This is too much of an analogy. Everyone's gonna be like, Claire, stop. I'm still processing these emotions sometimes. These late autism diagnosis emotions I'm not saying that, please don't think I'm saying that early diagnosed autistic people aren't processing either. It's a lot to process when you are different than what's around you, I guess. And sometimes I feel more normal, and sometimes I don't, like, or at least feel normal for me. I hope that you give me some grace with how I'm speaking. Here's what I've noticed, getting on to what I was saying. I feel like I handle the diagnosis okay. I feel, that's what I probably meant when I say I feel normal. I feel comfortable within myself. I feel me. But what I've noticed is that when I encounter someone that knew me before my diagnosis, and they ask me about my diagnosis, not in a hateful way, in a caring way, I immediately, tears come to my eyes. Immediately. And I am processing why that is. Maybe because if I knew that person before the diagnosis and we haven't talked about it, and especially like from like different iterations of my life before now, I just immediately, the tears come, and I like have to hold them back because it's kind of an like nobody wants to be like, yeah, tell me more about your, like, I'll mention that I was diagnosed, or I guess I just like casually mentioned because I like assume that they know, right? Because I'm like out and about on the internet. And then they'll be like, yeah, tell me about that. And as soon as they ask about it, I'm just like, and is it because of when they ask about it, like all of these, and like these emotions come up of like internalized, like is it all the trauma from a life before knowing, and then and you're in front of a piece of that life? Am I making sense? I just wanted to think through it with you guys because you're the only people that I know where somebody in the comments will be like, I totally understand what you're saying, so maybe I'm not alone here. Like when you are, like I'm fine, especially with new people. New people, sometimes I'll get emotional if I'm like talking through it. Like when I did a panel and people were asking me questions. I didn't anticipate getting emotional, but I did like go further into it. And I was talking in front of a group of people, so like I felt like more emotional. But this is from like how did that, yeah, tell me about that. And I'm just like, oh, maybe because I know, like subconsciously, that these people knew me during a time where I didn't know myself well, even though I thought I did. And I was really dysregulated and am more blocked off from the world. I don't know. Ugh. I knew I was going to get emotional if I talked about this, but I'm trying my best. I know it's okay to get emotional, but then like it's scary to do that on the internet, because then it's like, that was planned. Well, yeah, I do want to talk about something like this with you. Yeah, it was planned. But then it's like, I'm not trying to cry for attention or anything. It's just an emotional thing. But it's like, well, of course I want people to watch the porch coffees. I think what I've learned from my adult life is if I'm thinking too hard about something, then it's probably fine, because maybe other people don't think so hard about it. I don't know. So yeah. Do you go through that too? Is it just a late diagnosed autistic person thing? I don't want people to stop asking me about it. Obviously, it's good to process. I'd like to get to the point where I can talk about it and not cry about it. I wanted to share too, because I know that a lot of people think I'm really confident about my diagnosis, and I do feel good about it and better about it where I can talk about it. But sometimes in person, it's just different. I don't have like a conclusion to this topic of conversation. I was just hoping that if I brought it up with my community, you guys would have something to say about it. This feeling, like this wave of feeling that I'm getting when people that I meet up or see people from my life before my diagnosis, they ask me about it, and then I just get hit with like I don't want to not talk about it or pretend like it wasn't there. It was just like a part of my life that was there. And it's just weird, because it's like I was being affected by it and didn't know. And they were being affected by it and didn't know. Or maybe they knew that there was something off. I don't know. There's so many layers to it. I don't want to... I want to be okay with talking about it. Especially a lot of these people are people I do trust, I guess, to talk about it with. It's not like I'm like being forced to talk about it. And processing is good. It's not a bad thing. It's just like when you hear like a really emotional song and your soul is like stirred and you like the tears come immediately. That's how I feel. Like what is happening in me? What is stirring in me? What does it mean? How do I heal to a place where I don't have to cry when I think about, okay, whew. I don't have to cry when I think about my life pre-diagnosis. That's it. That's what I wanted to talk about today. And now I'm nervous to put this up, because I know that when I talk about autism, it gets more views. But then and that's cool. But then when I don't talk about autism, it doesn't get as many views. Okay, fine. We've got plenty of people who show up for porch coffee anyway. You guys are the best. But when I share my feelings and emotions, then sometimes for some people it's too much or it's attention seeking. If you feel that way, that's cool. If you're a late diagnosed autistic person who goes through this too, and you're okay with me being vulnerable and you have also felt these emotions, it would be really nice to hear from you in the comments. And it's okay for me to share what I'm comfortable with sharing. That's it. I've been talking for long enough, I guess. I'm still in a super good mood. I hope that you're having a great day and that you're in a good mood too, and you have a good Monday and that you have a great week. So many of you comment on the coffees all the time, and I'm just grateful to have you here. What's coming up this week? I don't have anything planned, guys. I've got stuff to do this week. I'm gonna get it done, but I don't have anything planned for the channel. I am in the process of reaching out to new people for the podcast. I have at least one that I need to get scheduled. So that's where I'm at. Hope you have a good week. Sorry for the wave of emotions that I sent your way. Seriously, have a good week. Be kind to yourself. I'll talk to you later. Bye.